Good evening, everybody. This is Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate with your All Hazards Consortium Weather Impacts Update. This is produced for the sensitive information sharing environment where we share information across platforms and across sectors, from the private sector owner and operators to public sector, emergency operations center, private sector liaisons. Well, we're dealing with a series of atmospheric rivers that has transported an historic amount of moisture into the Washington and Oregon coastlines. That's resulted in major flooding across several rivers. As I mentioned, starting on Monday, this is a long-duration, high-impact event, producing widespread river flooding, landslides, and transportation disruptions across multiple counties. Now, we are going to get a reprieve in the Pacific Northwest. Some drier air is moving in, but flooding effects will continue. This is going to be a short duration, sort of drier period. I'll show you that in the atmospheric river forecast coming up. We also have record warmth across portions of the west, while Arctic air is surging south into the northern plains, the upper Mississippi Valley, during Friday and Saturday. Also, a narrow band of moderate to heavy snow is likely from the Midwest, the upper Ohio Valley, into the Central Appalachians tonight, followed by a second strip of accumulating snows Friday from the northern plains southeastward into the middle Mississippi Valley. Now, we also have ongoing lake effect snows diminishing tonight, but will be reinvigorated late Saturday into Sunday. So we expect really heavy snows on the lee side of the lakes because of this Alberta clipper that's going to be moving through. Now, I've widened out here just to show you the incredible distance that this atmospheric river is covering, from the Pacific Ocean all the way into the Pacific Northwest and down through the Intermountain West and into the Midwest. That is impacting the weather along the East Coast as well. This atmospheric river has delivered relentless rainfall over the last several days, with some locations reporting more than a foot of rain that is making its way down the mountains, hillsides, and rivers right now. And we're also seeing evacuations happening as well. The result is significant river flooding across western Washington, and several river basins will continue to rise tonight. As of this afternoon, 6 major rivers are currently in flood stage, including the Skagit, Skykomish, Snohomish, Snoqualmie, Cedar, and Cowlitz rivers. These are not minor rises. Several of these gauges are already at major flood stage, meaning impacts to homes, infrastructure, and transportation corridors are ongoing and in some cases worsening. Take a look right now as I interact with some of these river gauges. Here's the Skagit River near Mount Vernon, where major flooding is taking place. When I click on that, you'll see the current flood stage right here. It is in major flood stage. Look at this, 32 feet is major flood stage, and right now we're at 33.8 feet, and it's continuing to go up. The forecast is for the river level to exceed its record 37.4 feet. That is indeed major catastrophic flooding going on in the Skagit River, and it's expected to continue to rise. It's also expected to fall rather rapidly through the flood stages, but not get below flood stage until at least Saturday around 1 o'clock. That's Eastern time, so 10 a.m. Saturday. Hopefully, this river will be below flood stage. Depends on how much rain they experience between now and tomorrow. So this could be stretched out a little bit further. If I go down here to the southeast a little bit, this is the Skagit River near Concrete, Washington. And you can see where it's rising. It is way up here, almost to record flood levels. This level here is major flood stage, and it's expected to go down and be down below the flood stage tomorrow by tomorrow afternoon. So if rain continues, it may not be this quick, but expect around this time it should be below flood stage, even some action taken flood stage. But this is where the damage is being done right now. We are well above major flood stage on the Skagit River here in Concrete. That is in Washington State. If I go to the south a little bit, the Snohomish River near Monroe, Washington, look at this. We're headed to break the record here in just a matter of hours. As this river continues to rise, it's well above flood stage. It's in its 23.97 is the current stage, and 25.3 is the record flood stage. So we're expected to be at 27 feet. That is tonight. Later on this evening, we're expected to be at record flood stage here on the Snohomish River near Monroe. Now, when I talk about the atmospheric river easing up a little bit, you can see over the last couple of days, using this total precipitable water product from NOAA, this is something where you can see this area of precipitation of moisture that is getting more narrow. But look at this, it's still focused into Washington State. We'll just have intensity fluctuations as this starts to somewhat peter out. But look at this low pressure system we have riding along this. This is going to bring another batch of rain on Sunday into the Pacific Northwest. So it's not the atmospheric river, but it is a low pressure system associated with it. Look at this river pointed right into Washington and Oregon. You can think of it as a fire hose of atmospheric moisture that's headed right in there. Now, I'm excited to mention here, I mentioned it yesterday in my video update, that we're going to be getting live data in from the Scripps Institute of Oceanography, their drifter program. Look at these buoys that are in the Pacific Ocean reporting back pressure and also sea surface temperature. These are critical values that we can use to calculate how much moisture is being drawn up from the ocean into the atmosphere. And we also have ongoing efforts from the U.S. Air Force Reserve flying missions into these atmospheric rivers so we can learn much more. This is called research and operations at the same time. And we're gathering information from these U.S. Air Force aircraft, the same ones that fly into the hurricanes, to take profiles of the atmosphere so we can get better data into numerical prediction models. And just recently, the folks at the Air Force dropped a series of wave drifters up here near the Gulf of Alaska. And this is data that we're getting now into GeoCollaborate. We can take a look at wave heights here. 8-foot waves here in this location. 9.3-foot waves. This is all part of research that's informing operations, and they're being done together. So I zoomed out here just a little bit. Take a look at all these buoys that are out here floating. These are drifters. We also have buoys from NOAA. This one is Environment and Climate Change Canada, a buoy that is measuring not only significant wave height, but also temperatures and the wave periods. So that is critical information as well. This particular one, this buoy, is from the National Data Buoy Center, operated out of the National Weather Service. That's part of NOAA. We're taking a look at air temperatures here, and also wind speed and direction and pressure. All of these ocean observations are critical. What are these blue areas here? These are regions in what's called the Integrated Ocean Observing System. Broken down into regions, and these regions are responsible for ocean observing systems in their locations. This is down here in the Pacific, the PacNW region. This is the Alaska region, AUS, and so on and so forth around the country. So back to the total precipitable water, you can see this moisture coming up now over Hawaii, being spun up in this low pressure system right here, and then continuing to be funneled into Washington and Oregon. We're going to see this kind of clip off right about in here and get a period of, I hate to say dry weather. The intense rain is going to ease up, and it may even stop raining during the day tomorrow into Saturday in parts of the Pacific Northwest. But then we have this bulk of precipitation that's going to be moving through as well on Sunday, providing another dose of heavy rain. So even though I just showed some of the river levels going down, they may maintain their flood levels until this system gets out of here. And this high pressure system is really a big influence, making a moisture funnel up towards the Pacific Northwest and delivering record high temperatures in the west here. This is going to be pretty incredible. On the periphery of this high pressure system, we have very cold air, and that cold air is going to be funneling right down into the Appalachians, into the mid-Atlantic, and then on up into Maine. And we're going to get these series of impulses developing along this area, and that's what's going to give us impacts to critical infrastructure, particularly transportation, along this area. And you can see it on GeoCollaborate here. This is the Winter Storm Severity Index, where you can see impacts from this clipper from Montana all the way through South Dakota, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, into Kentucky, West Virginia, and Ohio. These are impacts due to snow and slick road conditions. So use caution anywhere in this area over the next 24 to 36 hours. And then there's another area of concern here in the mid-Atlantic where snowfall on Sunday is likely to develop and impact the Baltimore, Washington, Philadelphia corridor with potential snow amounts that could impact transportation. So we're talking perhaps 1 to maybe 3 inches of snow. If it's an overachiever, it could be a little bit more north of Washington, including Baltimore up towards Philadelphia, perhaps Annapolis and onto the eastern shore. If this low pressure system develops and moves closer to the coast, we could see a little bit more moisture funneled back into the mid-Atlantic here to cause more widespread impacts. Okay, so let's run through the forecast really quickly here so you can see when that rainfall is going to ease up in the Pacific Northwest. This is this afternoon. We can still see that moisture, but as we get on into tomorrow, you can see the amount of precipitation is decreasing in the Pacific Northwest here, but it's not really decreasing in Montana. We have an increase in heavy snow because that clipper that's going to be coming down, forcing convergence. Low pressure and cold air is going to be crashing into the Pacific moisture that's streaming this way, and that's going to be causing rain on the western side of the mountain, but on the eastern edge, we're going to have snow and heavy snow at times. I'll continue here now, going on in the future into Saturday. This is early Saturday morning, so notice in Seattle and Portland, down towards Eugene, no rain forecast. The flooding is still going to be going on in many areas because it's running out of the mountains. And so we are seeing the indication of that low pressure system once again that's moving towards the Pacific Northwest. And we'll see that catch up to the Pacific Northwest Sunday afternoon. And then that continues through Monday. And you can see how wet it remains. This is Wednesday now, and it looks like it's going to extend down more into California, down into Central California, where we'll have rain. Many more areas of mountain snow are likely because there's going to be a colder air mass in place. So it's not going to be the tropical origin of this that the other atmospheric river was this week, which brought the snow levels way up high. We're going to see more snow happening up and down the Cascades here and down towards central and southern Oregon. But then as we continue this into Wednesday and Thursday, look at this. More rain in a very progressive pattern coming in to the Pacific Northwest once again. This doesn't look like the extremely heavy rain that's associated with the atmospheric river, but this is just a wet pattern that's going to continue and we're going to have that high pressure system, still persistent high pressure off of California that's acting as a block. So that's going to keep those warm temperatures going in the southwest, in California, central and southern California, and also that Thule fog is going to be around perhaps for the fourth week in a row. A month of Thule fog. I'm sure you're sick of fog in the valleys of California. Okay, so I just want to mention as we wrap up this update that evacuations are underway across multiple communities. Skagit County officials have issued immediate evacuation orders for residents in the 100-year floodplain as the Skagit River approaches levels that historically produce major flooding across the valley. Statewide, emergency managers estimate that up to 100,000 people are under evacuation orders or advisories, particularly those in low-lying or levee-protected areas. Floodwaters have overtopped or threatened levees in portions of Snohomish and King counties, prompting additional door-to-door notifications and rescues. The National Guard teams have been activated to support evacuations, assist with transport of stranded residents, and reinforce flood control as needed. So this flooding is also significantly disrupting transportation across the region here. US 2 over Stevens Pass remains closed due to flooding and landslides. Highway 12 in Lewis County is underwater in several locations, cutting off access to communities along Randall and Packwood. State Route 6 and 508 are closed because of inundation. A landslide closed part of Interstate 90 near North Bend earlier today. Numerous county roads statewide are impassable. If you live in Washington State, consult the Washington State Department of Transportation site. You can search for it and bring that up. This is a very dynamic map. Look at all the black and white areas. They are roads that are closed either because of snow and potential avalanches or flooding has cut off the roads. This is happening in many, many areas. There's also lots of accidents and also roads that have water coming over them and people try to cross them. That water could be getting deeper and deeper. Do not cross flooded roads. Also, rail service is affected. The Amtrak Cascades route between Seattle and Vancouver, BC is suspended today and tomorrow, with service expected to resume on Saturday if conditions stabilize and track inspections are completed. These transportation impacts are dynamic, so make sure additional closures are likely. Make sure you check for that as ground saturation continues to increase the risk of landslides. So looking ahead, while the heaviest rainfall will diminish tonight into tomorrow morning, the hydrologic response, the response of the rivers, will lag significantly. Many rivers will remain in flood stage into the weekend, and soils are so saturated that even moderate follow-up rainfall may trigger new landslides and additional flooding. Remember, I showed more rain headed towards Seattle and the Pacific Northwest on Sunday, more heavy rain at times. So residents in evacuation zones should follow all instructions from emergency management. Never drive through floodwaters. Depth and current are often deceptive and conditions can go downhill quickly. Continue to monitor official weather statements from the National Weather Service and local advisories. They are the authoritative voice for any watches, warnings, and advisories, as this remains a rapidly evolving situation. I'll continue to track this and provide updates for the All Hazards Consortium and the SISE, and for you watching this update. These atmospheric rivers can be beasts, and this one has been a particularly persistent atmospheric river, and it's impacting lives and livelihoods for the next several months at least. I'm Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. Thanks for watching this update. We'll keep you posted. We'll be back tomorrow with another update. Thanks for watching. Please watch out for yourself and watch out for your neighbors. They really do appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.